going to be here more than a year or two?
Well, part of it is they can come back, and they know they have the opportunity to come back and finish up, and they can do it in piecemeal. They can do it in the summers. The other part of it is they're being loyal to the program. We're here, in other words, by doing what they're supposed to, we in no way get penalized when they leave because they take care of business. And then they find out what I try to tell them: an educated man doesn't get robbed or fooled. Educate yourself. Read. Get into reading. Learn to read well and enjoy it. And now when you're in school here, take advantage. Educate yourself. Take financial planning courses. Why? Because you're going to come across some money. You want to know what you're supposed to do. You want to be able to read contracts and understand what they say. So we tell them it's important. I also tell them this: if I can't count on you in the classroom, how in the world can I count on you on the basketball court? If you won't do what you're supposed to. In this school, in a great way, at first I thought, uh-oh, but every classes are checked. If you don't go to class, you don't play here. And it's from the president's office. It's not from the athletic department. So this is handled different here. And these kids know that's their responsibility. You want to play here, part of your responsibility is academically. Doesn't mean they always have great terms. Doesn't mean that. And they'll have some bad terms. But the reality of it is they know what they're supposed to do, and in most cases they do well.
Who is someone you've had maybe with the mental toughness of Michael? He seems to have much mental toughness as anyone.
You know what? You build that through how you practice, how much time you spend, and then demonstrated performance on the court. You build that. If you don't work real hard and you don't spend the extra time and you don't come in here and fight practices and absolutely devour practices, what happens, you get in a game and it gets rough, you want no part of it. You don't want any part of that roughness. If you do that in practice, it's a habit, you'll do it in the game. The second part of it is you know something good's going to happen because of how much time you spend. The guys that I've coached that have spent the most time at this game have benefited the most. By and large, they've benefited the most. And it doesn't always mean that they've become the MVP of the NBA, even though he did work, Derrick Rose, as hard as any player I've ever coached. And I'm talking about extra time, spending more than he needed to spend. But those other guys that work like that and understand how to really sacrifice and commit themselves, even when the rock's thrown in there, the dog that gets in starts yelping.
I'm trying to, it's that person that was giving one
line?
One way, yeah.
One line?
He wants
the one line?
He wants equal time.
Okay, I thought it's either one with the 2 pages or the 1 line. We got to figure that out. But those guys that work hard, that really spend time, benefit when they leave and get out of basketball. They understand anything that if I really work, I can become good at it.
But
Success is,
personally, though.
I mean, I'm just telling you, I can tell you I've had a bunch of them. I mean, Lou Rowe was a killer when I was at UMass. So was Harper Williams. I mean, those guys were absolute warriors. And you know where it started? They were warriors in practice. The last 20 minutes of every practice, those two dominated. And then you go and you do the same thing. Joey Dorsey had that mental tough. He couldn't make a free throw, but it didn't matter. I mean, he'd come up with a block, a defensive stop, something late that would help us win. He had a mental toughness to it. The guys that finish those last 20 minutes of practice usually are those guys.